fair to say that no one can stand the star of this movie.
Excuse me. Your curtain. Please allow me to help.
Help? From you?
I didn't mean to offend. I just thought you should know that
I should know what? That some privileged white guy thinks his opinion matters? Get over your entitlement. I'm not some damsel in distress waiting for you to ride in on your high horse.
And Disney decided to hire the most insufferable girl boss narcissist that exists on Earth, who hates Snow White, to play Snow White.
Rachel Zegler is extraordinarily woke, but she's woke in a way that's quite deranged. I truly do believe that.
This is no ordinary apple, my dear. It's a magic wishing apple. A wishing apple? You offer it to me freely. In place of the patriarchy, you would have a queen! Not white, but diverse, inclusive, and equitable! I will become the leader I know I can be! All shall love me and despair!
Oh, what has she done to you? Fear not. First love's kiss can break any curse.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, just hit the unfollow button. I don't need your business.
This is someone who is as entitled as, I don't need your business. You know what? Maybe Disney does. Maybe you're a tool, you're a pawn in this film. You didn't write it. You didn't direct it. You have nothing to do with the creation of Snow White. Right. You should shut up and do the
who is so truly, and I'll say this word, even though it's cringe to say toxic. And I mean that in terms of she was cancerous. She was toxic to anybody that may have been interested in this. As soon as you heard her talk about herself or this movie, you were no longer interested.
They're remaking the movie. They just got rid of the dwarfs. Okay,
but what do they call them?
Why would they get rid of the dwarfs, though?
Magical
creatures. But they have one token dwarf amongst these magical creatures. You actually just went backwards. You actually just erased the dwarfism side of it, the disability, like we're a disability group. You just erase that whole image. The argument should have been from Peter Dinklage. There's power of being on TV. There's power of television. And to put 7 people with dwarfism on camera in a major Disney movie, there's still power there. If the story is offensive, change the story. Don't change the characters.
This is Rachel Zegler, who Disney decided would be brilliant in casting because, as Rachel Zegler says, her millions of fans will line up no matter what she does to see her.
When I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them, that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
I am walking into Snow White, 2 p.m., now seating. Let's see how empty it is. I hope it's off the walk we go. I hope. Sound like I hear a couple of people. One, two.
Morty is reportedly lining up another savage takedown, this time directly targeting Rachel Zegler again. While the show has already poked fun at the Snow White disaster, the writers clearly think there's still fuel left in the fire. This new episode is rumored to dive even deeper into the media circus, fan backlash, and awkward interviews that surrounded her. But the worst part? She's no longer just a one-time gag. Rick and Morty is turning her into a recurring, cultural punchline.
Oh wow, Snow White flopped. Who is surprised? You cast arguably the least genuine, most out of touch, and disliked person in her industry, and her industry is Hollywood. And the bad guy is Gal Gadot.
Rachel Zegler is already fighting an uphill battle. Ignored studio calls, cold fan reactions, and a damaged image. Now becoming the centerpiece of a Rick and Morty roast is the last thing she needed. Insiders say she's furious behind the scenes. The parody doesn't hold back. It amplifies every critique. Combative attitude, political messaging over performance, and a disconnect from audiences. For an actress trying to hold on to her place in Hollywood, This kind of mockery could be the most humiliating blow yet.
One thing about Snow White in particular has a lot to do with Rachel Zegler's firing situation. We already talked about how she was let go from various projects by the Walt Disney Company, including doing voiceover work for Toy Story 5.
To see how things unraveled, we have to rewind. Rachel was once the next big thing. Critics praised her in West Side Story, and Disney cast her as the lead in their Snow White reboot. It was supposed to be her breakout role. But things began falling apart not because of the movie's visuals or direction, but because of her own words. Her interviews became the focus of online outrage long before the film even hit the...
I just mean that it's no longer 1937. She's gonna be safe with the prince, and she's not gonna be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
Instead of celebrating the legacy of the original Snow White, Rachel came across as dismissive. In one viral moment, she said the 1937 prince, literally, stalks Snow White, and brushed off the original film as outdated. The internet erupted. For many fans, she wasn't bringing a fresh take. She was insulting a beloved classic. And with that, the PR damage began spiraling out of control.
Disney Snow White, live-action adaptation without Snow White in it, and made by people who hate Snow White, got historically ratioed. This is a historic ratio.
Her interview clips surfaced, and things got worse. What her defenders called bold and modern, others saw as arrogant and tone-deaf. The nickname Girl Boss Snow White started trending, and not in a good way. Every quote, every red carpet, every appearance became viral bait. Meanwhile, the fairy tale magic people hoped for was fading fast. And one thing that really caught public attention? Her on-screen chemistry, or lack of it, with co-star Gal Gadot.
Welcome, Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot.
Visual effects push the boundaries of what we see on screen.
Their work makes the impossible seem possible.
With breathtaking ambition, they create magic that wraps its arms around our wildest imaginations.
Here are the nominees for Best Visual Effects.
During major press events, fans noticed the strange, cold dynamic between Rachel and Gal. At the Oscars, their presentation together felt stiff, awkward, and distant. Rumors quickly circulated that Gal had been quietly distancing herself from the controversy. Behind the scenes, things weren't friendly, and Disney, completely silent. No PR course correct, no clarification. Meanwhile, the film had ditched the prince, the dwarfs, and the classic tone, leaving audiences wondering, was this even Snow White anymore?
Snow White gets her name, not from the fairness of her skin, as we obviously know Rachel Zegler would be a miscast in that sense. Instead, she gets her name from surviving a snowstorm.
When Snow White finally premiered, it bombed, just $45 million at the box office. Despite its brand recognition, it couldn't connect. The backlash had reached critical mass. And now, Rick and Morty is immortalizing the chaos with razor-sharp parody. For Rachel Zegler, what should have been her biggest break has turned into a textbook example of how fast a career can spiral. With an IMDb rating of just 1.6, the film wasn't just a failure, it became a cultural meme. And now, thanks to satire, it's burned into pop culture history for